the grind. Working on Skirata. This is for my buddy Cody, one of my 501st buddies. On the last episode, we cleared out these and cleared up most of what we got going on with the helmet. Still a little bit of kind of trimming work, smoothing work to do down here to clear that up. But yeah, this is mostly ready to go. On today's episode, so we've got the chest here. And basically it's going to be that piece underneath. So on these, the left one, the CRL calls for 2 indentations. The second one being slightly wider than the top one, so I've got myself a little bit of a guide. You know, I'm gonna basically eyeball this, cut these out, and then because this is very thin, I can't really Dremel them in there and make the indentations, but I'm gonna cut them out. Then I will glue this ABS plastic, or I will use slurry to glue this ABS plastic to the back, and that will create indentations. So that's what we're working on today. Welcome whoever has joined me. Welcome aboard the Mando train. Step out of the way so as I don't lose it. Safety first. If you guys have questions about what we're doing here, anything you want to know along the way, please let me know. But this is Skirata. He was a badass Mandalorian commando. He's friends with Jango Fett. Yeah, just a general badass. Trust your dream. Alright, so one is done. Now I'm going to match this line here. So I'm working on a custom Mandalorian build. There's a helmet. This is Skirata. And basically, his armor is, you know, basically kind of a Boba Fett helmet with Jango Fett armor that is painted a sand gold. This is an ABS plastic kit. I need to find out from Cody, the guy that I'm building this for, who he got this kit from, because I do like it. I like to give them credit where credit is due. So it's an ABS plastic kit that I will be finishing and painting for him. And then the helmet is a resin cast back there. All right. Now, tentacle line. So who's here? Sound off, man. I'd like to chat. This is more fun when I get to talk to people while I'm doing it. So please, let me know who you is. This cut here is just a little bit too small for the Dremel. So I'm going to attempt to do it with an X-Acto knife. Hello Maria, how's it going? Welcome aboard. I am building a custom Mandalorian. This is a chest piece. I'm cutting the slots out for the chest piece because it calls for it in the CRL. This is going to be a 501st approved costume for a friend of mine. There we go. So those two are cut out, and I glue this behind it, and then those two become recessed instead of just cut out. Gotta sand those up to get rid of all those little wiggle wobbles. Thank you for joining me and spending time. You have it. All right, so that is going to be glued on the back, but what I'm going to use to glue it is this. So this is ABS slurry. It's actually really thick ABS slurry. I've had it sitting here for a while. It's made by using cut up pieces of this, the plastic, and mix it with acetone, and then it basically makes a glue that you can then use to glue this stuff on. It's very cool. And it glues relatively, quickly, but you got enough time to kind of play around with it, which is good when you're building this kind of stuff. I'm just going to take some of it and just put it on like a paste or a putty around the outside of this. Okay. And on the inside here, and then just kind of smear it around, and it will basically work just like a glue, like a super glue. Stick it on there like that, get a little clamp. Let me get these cleaned out. Clamp it down, let it sit. So this is part of the chest piece. Hold on, I'll show you. So it's a Mandalorian chest piece. This is the left side of it, but it basically will go on like that. This piece right here. And it makes up the chest piece for Mandalorian. That's it. Now we got to do a little more work to do on the helmet. That's a helmet. I did a lot of work on this the other night. Got it mostly ready to go. I'll have to sit down and take some time to look at the rangefinder and how to do that. But yeah, this is a resin cast helmet. So if anybody hasn't worked with resin before, it's not like a 3D print. This thing is smooth, you know, pretty much ready for paint now. You give it a light sanding and it, you know, is ready to go with paint. However, you have to cut out all of, like, the visor piece you have to cut out. You've got to, I had to cut out these back pieces right here. So there are, it's still a lot of work, even though it's not necessarily sanding and filling layer lines. You still do have a lot of work to do with these. So I'm just wanting to smooth up this bottom part down here. You kind of see how that is toe up, a little rough cut. So we're gonna go through and smooth that down as well as we can, just to get it looking a little prettier. And this one, I definitely need this because this resin will go everywhere like a dusty fiber powder. I will end up smoky afterward. I mean, I'll look like a ghost. Parts. So changing from my cutting blade to my sanding. So how much is this? I mean, it depends. If you get a 3D printed one of these, you can buy one for about $100. And then for, you know, $50 in materials, you could have a finished helmet. I do commissions. A full helmet's going to run you probably around $250 to $350, depending on what the helmet is. But there's a commission request form in my link tree in my About page. The rest of that's gonna have to be hand sanded. Okay, you get dust over everything when you do this kind of thing. This thing just, it basically dissolves into a powdery fiber. Very bad for your health. So yeah, Skirata, full armor build. You know, the primary work that I'll be doing is going to be on the helmet. This little bit of thing I did on the chest piece. The rest of it is mostly finished, so I'm just going to be prepping, painting, strapping it, and getting it ready to go. But yeah. This is all ABS plastic. Again, this is the back plate. It's a vacuum formed ABS plastic that much more lightweight than 3D printed stuff. It's just overall better material. So that's what we did today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, as always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the